Those terms sometimes can get interchangeable, like engineer, designer, inventor. I actually like the term design. I think that when someone designs, there's a little bit more of an artful element to it usually. They're usually more concerned with sort of the experience of people using the design. Inventors a lot of times are geared to just doing something that hasn't been done. So they just are sort of focused on, this hasn't been done, and I'm going to be the first one to do it. Designers, I find, are a little more thinking about the end user. And not only, they're not so much obsessed with being the first one to do something, but they want to make the best something. They want it to have the best overall effect. So an inventor might be more concerned with getting more features on the computer, because that's like inventing more features. But the designer will say, well, you know, more features might not be the best thing. More features might be a bad thing. So I'm just going to think about the whole experience of it and what is the best thing I can create. And then the last point I would say about that is also, just when you look at those two terms, inventor and designer, I like the word designer a lot better because I think it's accessible to people. I think all of us think of ourselves as designers a little bit, but I don't think most of us think of ourselves as inventors. It's something, inventor is intimidating, right? You feel like you have to be in a lab wearing a white coat or something, right? And whereas designer feels like, you know, I can be a designer. You know, we're all designers on some level. So I like it. To me, it's a more democratic term as well. Innovation is another term that, you know, trying to figure out the connection between design and innovation is very, very interesting too, and even what innovation means. You know, I talk about that in the book too. You know, people think innovation just means creating something new, right? And it doesn't mean that at all. And innovation, to be an innovation, it has to change people's lives. It has to have a significant effect. If you just add more buttons onto the receiver of a stereo, or whatever, you know, more buttons for people to fiddle with. Companies think that's an innovation, right? They think, oh, gee, we put more features on, therefore it's an innovation. It's not an innovation because they put that thing out there and nobody cares. And in fact, the thing is actually harder to use now than it was before. Nobody needs those features they put on there. This is known in the design world as featureitis, when you just put more features on, right? So that's not an innovation when you do that. The innovation is when you put something on that machine that changes the experience of using it for the better. That has like a big impact.
So it does have a very close connection for innovation.
Yeah, it has a close connection, but I think there is in terms of the relationship between design and innovation, design to me is sort of the bridge that gets you to innovation. It's the process, and it's all of the things you have to think about that will make something into an innovation. Because something can't be an innovation unless it's meaningful. Just being new is not enough. It has to be meaningful. And designers sort of are good at figuring out what will be meaningful and what will work the best and what will have the most impact.